I'm Shay Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is Andrew Vigar, the Executive Chairman for Terra Uranium. Andrew, how are you, mate?
It's a pleasure, and it's been quite a few months since we last spoke, Jay.
It has been quite a few months since we last spoke, but geez, it's been good for uranium since we last spoke.
It's been great for uranium and great for the big guys, but us little guys, we're not still not getting a lot of love, but it's got to come soon.
Well, hopefully today's conversation is going to change all that because I actually want to touch on your recent quarterly report that you just put out this week. It looks like there's, to badly paraphrase Banjo Patterson, it looks like there's been some movement at the station and some exciting things are happening with Terra Uranium.
Well, it is, and that's a good point, actually. Yes, our quarterly came out. We've been working very hard on our core projects right through last year, and as part of pulling all that data together and targeting for our deeper drill programs, we have undertaken a structural study, which is still underway, but it pretty much highlighted immediately that there was another project or another area that we should pick up. That's now called Rapid River, which is on the western side of Passfield Lake itself, the actual lake, right between our Parker and Passfield projects. And it was vacant at the time, so we pegged it, and it was a pretty good thing we did because the rest of the ground all around us is now gone. There is nothing in the Cable Bay left. It's all been snapped up, and we like to think we were the trailblazers in there, but we've got a lot of people following us.
Oh, look, it's always good to be a first mover, and I think that's you and I have talked before extensively about the depth of knowledge and intellectual capital in the team that makes up Terra
Mm.
Uranium. So it sounds to me like your team knew exactly where to go looking. Obviously, there's no ground left, so you must be onto something.
Yeah, we have a little tagline for the bottom of our quarterlies, and all I put there is great people, great projects, great company. And the company secretary came back and said, "No, that's too short, Andrew. You've got to say a little bit more than that." But it's true. We've got a really great team, and although we do understand it is a little deeper in the basin, and therefore is a bit more expensive. So we've been quietly working away in the background, and they're looking for partners to fund that deep exploration work, particularly the drilling, which is what you need for discovery. And we're making good progress on that, but it's slow going. But the uranium price above 106, that I tell you what, that is definitely helping.
Now, these things are actually expensive to get out of the ground. So, what type of optimism are you seeing when it comes to talking about uranium projects where you're looking?
Yeah, I think people have been saying for quite a while now, Shay, as we said about 9 months ago when we last chatted, what prices are going to take for the people sitting on the sidelines to come off and start investing in companies like ours. And we thought it might be $60 and then 70 and then 80. But I think the current price is really, we're seeing movement. So we're seeing, major investors and high net wealths and private family offices who are interested in uranium finally starting to say, okay, this is real, it's long term, it's going to last. How do we get into it? And I think it's finally starting to happen. And that's why I say it takes a while.
Now, just to derail this conversation slightly, I know it does take a while, but let's talk about the geopolitical implications in the background. Because when you and I first spoke many months ago, there were
Mm,
production problems in Kazakhstan, but there's now the geopolitical picture for uranium has completely changed.
it has, and that's the war in Europe hasn't helped, and that's means exports from Kazakhstan via Russia are no longer possible. People thought that that might end up going otherwise, but it's been recently announced by Kazatomprom, it's a mouthful, that their largest two deposits, which were recently auctioned, went to the Russians, which means that that production is not coming out of that part of the world. It's not coming to the West. China are the largest constructor at the moment. They've got 50 odd power stations under construction. They need fuel for those. So basically, the largest producer in the world of uranium is producing very little for the West. And don't underestimate the Russians. They're extremely good constructors of power plants. They're very good at it. They've got 18 under construction at the moment, not just in Russia, but around the world, and they're very keen to do more. So it's really starting to split into the east and west.
Now, just to bring this conversation back to what Terra Uranium is working on, you've talked about how lucky you were to stake out the
Mm.
Rapid River ground when you got the opportunity. But tell me, it's like you guys know where you need to be next. Where else are you sniffing around?
Well, we are. We're certainly looking at a few other projects, and we're in discussions with people, but I can't tell you that, Jay. And we can't discuss that. Certainly nothing is to an advanced stage that would be needed to be announced to the market. But we're always out there. We're always looking. But getting back to our core projects, this shortage of supply, we are looking for big projects. So when we make a discovery, we're looking for the Cigar and MacArthur's, the really multi-100 million ounce deposits, because they're the ones that are going to be needed in 5 and 10 years' time.
Andrew, I'm a bit of a recovering uranium bull market tragic. I did cut my teeth in the markets in 2007. So, for the first time in 16 or 17 years, I can say this. Andrew, what a time to be in uranium. Now, but we do need to draw our time together to a close. I'm really excited to see what Terra Uranium is doing. And it's great to chat with you again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And thank you very much for the invitation.